the smartest sports YouTuber, back with another video, and we gotta talk about the destruction, the domination, the ass whooping that happened on Thursday night. Absolute domination. The Miami Dolphins got humbled by the Cincinnati Bengals. Got absolutely humbled. They said the Dolphins were the number one team in the league. They had them ranked number one in the power rankings. And then they got destroyed by the top dogs of the AFC, the reigning, defending champs of the AFC. You are not the top dogs until you beat the top dogs in a big game, a primetime game. You just aren't. Don't even say, oh, the Steelers and Cowboys beat them. Those weren't big primetime games. This was 3-0 Miami, beating the Ravens, beating the Bills, but you haven't beaten the top dog. You have not seen the top dog, and you got your fucking ass whooped. I don't want to hear excuses from Dolphins fans either. Dolphins fans were the same people that said last week, oh, Bills fans, all they do is make excuses. We don't make excuses when we lose. The Bills fans make so many excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. Obviously, we hope, and it's looking good that Tua looks to be healthy, well, obviously, he has a concussion, but he looks to, nothing major seems to be wrong with him afterwards. Everything's gone off good. The reports are good, so that's good. That's good to know. You never want to see a player injured, and that's why when people bring up injuries, it's disgusting. It's why bring up injuries? There's no point of it. There's no point. If you're going to talk about the game on the field. Don't talk about people getting injured. It's just a scumbag move. You're a piece of shit if you make fun of injuries. It's that simple. So, but on to the game, because that injury's been talked about a lot, which has overshadowed the game. And, I mean, I get talking about the injury. It was a serious injury. We'll see what happens to the Dolphins. But overshadowed the fact that the Bengals dominated the so-called number one team in the league, the so-called top of the AFC. They dominated them. They absolutely destroyed them. And I don't want to hear excuses, because Tua, if we're going to be honest, was not having a good game. He was having a worse game than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater came in right away and scored more points than Tua put up in those drives he was in. Tua, first drive of the game was good. People were wide open. McDaniels was cooking. Then Tua throws one to the back of the end zone. Chase Edmonds drops it. Mike Hilton slipped on the play, so he got lucky there, but Chase Edmonds dropped it. Next drive, driving down, Tua underthrows the ball to Tyreek Hill. Von Bell picks it off. Tyreek Hill, after all that trash talk, after all the talk, gets fucking beat again by Eli Apple. Eli Apple is 3-0 against Tyreek Hill. Win on the Bengals. Just remember that. Joe Burrow owns Tyreek Hill. Eli Apple owns Tyreek Hill. And Eli Apple clamped Tyreek Hill whenever they were matched up, which wasn't much, but whenever they were, he got clamped up by Eli Apple. So, Tyreek Hill, you can take the L on this one. But like I said, Tua was not having a good game, and he was forcing the ball. I mean, right before the injury, he forced a ball that should have been picked by Jesse Bates, that easily could have been picked by Jesse Bates. He was just forcing the ball deep to Tyreek Hill, and he was going to have a couple interceptions or a few interceptions in this game. So, Tua was not looking good. So, when people say, oh, they would have won with Tua, Teddy Bridgewater came in and looked better than Tua. And I'm not saying Teddy Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Tua, but that game, it was clear that Tua was getting clamped up. So, no excuses from Dolphins fans. And they say, oh, we had to travel a short week. Okay, the Bengals were on a short week too. The Bengals had people banged up too on a short week. That's what happens when you play Thursday Night Football. So stop making that excuse. It's pathetic. Just stop. All right? Dominated this game. I mean, right out the gate, they jump out. Perfect drive. 2 weeks in a row now, the first drive have scored a touchdown. That's very rare in the Zach Taylor era, so that's a very good sign. This O-line, I thought played a lot better. I mean, PFF thinks this O-line played trash, but I don't know what. Probably because of their run blocking. I'm going to assume that, because the run game has been trash. The run game has been awful. 2.9 yards a carry on 24 attempts. I don't know why Zach Taylor keeps on running the ball when it's not working. I mean, his logic is, oh, well, if we run the ball, then they're going to get worn out by the end of the game. Well, if you run the ball, then by the end of the game, it's going to be a close game or you're going to be behind. So why don't you actually be aggressive, throw the ball a lot in the first half, the first three quarters, and then the fourth quarter, then you can run the clock out, kind of like what happened to the Jets. So I don't really get that. Evan Big Dick McPherson hit a huge 57-yarder, which again shows why I was right and Zach Taylor was wrong in the Dallas game. The Dallas game, 59-yard attempt, he did not even attempt it. He punted the ball, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? You have the best kicker in the league, Evan Big Dick McPherson, the best kicker in the league by far from 50 plus, and you're not going to kick a 59-yarder in a dome, but you will kick a 57-yarder at home when it's pretty windy out. And it was good from 64. So that's the thing. Take advantage of the weapons you have. Evan McPherson is a weapon from 50 plus. He is automatic. He has the best leg in the league, so don't waste it by punting the ball and trying to get field position. Just take your points when you can. So Evan Big Dick McPherson bounces back. Great game by him. Joe Burrow had a pretty good game. He was off early accuracy wise. This was probably his worst accuracy game. The first game was just about decision making. The second game it was pretty conservative. The O line was ass. This game I'm just talking about pure accuracy. Probably his least effective game in that case the whole year, and he still had a good game. I mean, 289 yards, two touchdowns, zero picks, absolute domination. Made every key throw. I mean, the fourth quarters this year, Joe Burrow has been automatic. First game of the year against the Steelers, led a comeback, should have been a game winner against the Steelers. A great Steelers defense. Second week, offense is struggling most of the day. What happens? Fourth quarter, long drive, touchdown, 2-point conversion, tie the game. So Joe Burrow has been absolutely automatic, and the only fourth quarter he really didn't do anything is the Jets, and that's just because there was a big lead and just ran the clock out most of it. So the fourth quarter this year, Joe Burrow has been the best quarterback in the league in the fourth quarter. That is an absolute fact. Uh, I mean, Dolphins fans might say, "Oh, Tua's been the best in the fourth quarter." No, that was just one game where Ravens had a couple broken coverages that made his stats skew that way. But no, in other games, I mean, this is the thing with the Dolphins. The Dolphins had to be humbled, okay? They were talking about they were the best team in the AFC, number one team in the league. You can't be the top dog if you didn't beat the top dog, especially in primetime. This was a primetime game. This was the biggest game of the Dolphin season, and the Bengals absolutely routed them. They showed who the top dog of the AFC is. Now back to 2-2, so everyone that was screaming, "Oh, the Bengals suck, 0-2, I knew it. They were fluke, Super Bowl hangover, fluke." Now what? 2-2, about to be top of the division. Other teams like Kansas City, they're 2-1. If they lose to the Bucks, they're 2-2. Buffalo, they gotta beat the Ravens. If they don't, 2-2. Ravens, if they lose to Buffalo, 2-2. The Browns probably will lose to Atlanta, 2-2, and they had an easy ass part of their schedule, and they'll be 2-2. The Steelers, they have to win to be 2-2. So everyone that was counting the Bengals out early, just admit you were wrong now. Don't look more stupid than you already look. I tried to tell you that the Bengals were perfectly fine, still going to win the division, still going to make a deep playoff run, and people didn't want to listen, and I'm just getting proven right by the day. Okay? What was it? Just not even a week ago? No, a week ago today. I mean, the Bengals were 0-2, and I said they had a 5-day span where the Bengals can change their season, and they did exactly that. Dominated both games. The Jets and the Dolphins absolutely dominated this game. I mean, Jamar Chase is getting absolutely double, triple teamed, and he still ends up with 4 catches for 81 yards, especially the game clinching drive. He had the huge play with the perfect pass from Joe Burrow. I don't know why the Dolphins decided then to single up Jamar Chase and not have the safety lurking on his side. I don't know why they waited till then. That was pretty stupid of them. And they got absolutely cooked in the fourth quarter, especially. Joe Burrow is the best fourth quarter quarterback in the league. MVP Burrow. Guess what's happened since he's thrown his fourth pick? Guess what's happened? In the first game, he threw 4 picks. How many since then? Zero. Last night, zero turnover worthy plays. Well, I can't say last night because it's Saturday. Thursday night, zero turnover worthy plays. Joe Burrow has absolutely done a great job at taking care of the ball just like he did at the end of last season, and that's what I expected this season. I mean, I told you the first game was a fluke. Joe Burrow didn't have barely any training camp. He was going up against a top defensive line, a top defense. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. The O-line barely had any cohesion, and it was a fluke. I mean, I don't really say that unless it's true. It was a fluke, and you saw it. I mean, he threw, 4 picks. He had 5 turnovers. I mean, the fumble really wasn't his fault, but now look at it. He hasn't had a turnover in 3 games. 7 touchdowns, 0 picks since that fourth interception has happened. That's MVP numbers, and I said Joe Burrow will be MVP this year. That first game, obviously, I said that before the first game. The first game really hurt that, but Aaron Rodgers came back from a terrible game one and won MVP, even though he shouldn't have last year. Joe Burrow can do the same. Joe Burrow will do the same. MVP Burrow. The Bengals are just taking it off from here. 2-2, top of the division, top of the AFC, top dogs. Chiefs fans, Buffalo fans, Miami fans, Chargers fans, you guys got to look up from here. And that's another team, the Chargers, 1-2. The Bengals were supposedly out of it, 1-2, but the Chargers were the super team at 1-2. So just admit you were wrong, take the L, and it is what it is. T. Higgins, great game, 124 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely just dominant game. That's what happens. He's going to be left one-on-one with some teams will have their best corner on T. Higgins and just double and triple team Jamar Chase. So T. Higgins has to take advantage of that, and that's really the key is T. Higgins taking advantage of that. The play calling, I mean, there's still no creativity. I mean, you saw in this game, so you saw Mike McDaniel's play calling versus Zach Taylor. It was night and day. I couldn't imagine this offense if Mike McDaniel was the play caller, but he's not. Zach Taylor, it's just more about the players winning one-on-ones, and it's just more up to the players. You don't really see players schemed open. So this offense does have a way to go. I mean, they're still putting up 27 points in back-to-back games, and they still have a way to go. I mean, the run game, like I said, has been absolutely awful. 2.9 yards a carry. Joe Mixon has been terrible this year. He's missed a lot of chances for big gains. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if his ankle's bothering him. But they should, next game they should, well no, next game, they have a long week, so, but some of these games, they should not be running Joe Mixon 24 times. You need to conserve them, you need to preserve them for late in the year. Have Samaje Perine pick up more carries. Have Chris Evans in there and have more carries. You don't need to be running Joe Mixon 25 times at the beginning of the year, especially when he's not doing shit. I mean, you're just wasting downs by running the ball every time on first down. You're just wasting downs. It's going to be a 2nd and long, 2nd and 8. It's just absolutely awful. So hopefully Zach Taylor gets it together on that. Stop trying to establish the run and get the Bengals behind in games. Last 2 games, the Bengals have scored an opening drive touchdown. So he's been able to get away with that. But in games where you don't score an opening drive touchdown, stop running the ball. Stop putting the Bengals in a deficit. It's going to come back to haunt them. And it did the first 2 games. And the first 2 games, the run game was awful. We kept trying to run the ball, waste downs, put Joe Burrow in obvious passing situations against great pass rushes. So that's just a recipe for failure. But the team has come back 2-2, top of the league, top of the AFC. I don't care what you say. Until the champs are dethroned, they're still the top dog. I mean, that's just a fact. That's not me being a biased homer. That's just me speaking facts. So, like I said, Dolphins, I knew you were going to get humbled. I'm glad the Bengals were the ones to humble you. I will be serving you humble pie. Make sure you're in the comments. Make sure you apologize. Make sure you admit I'm the smartest sports YouTuber because that's what I am. So I'll just leave that video off there. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you just listen to the smartest sports YouTuber on the planet. That's a fact. And I'm out.